And that's what Trump was handed.
That's an evasion.
That's
Kevin.
what he was handed. He's
Precisely.
doing
The
brand
economy's on
damage.
fire.
He's doing
What are you
brand
talking
damage
about?
to the American economy. Nobody is taking us
What is
seriously.
this job loss? The
No,
economy is on fire
The
right
economy
now.
is
On
doing-
fire.
is
Economy
doing
is doing
okay.
brand
By Wall Street.
damage,
Guys, one at a
brand
time,
damage to
please.
the
Okay.
American brand. We are a laughingstock. We're a laughingstock in Europe, a laughingstock in Asia. If you're inside the Trump bubble and you're on Twitter with all the bros,
Right.
it hits hard. It's really good.
That's
in real,
not what the numbers say. The number one destination for invested capital on earth is still over
America.
50% in America. Tonight.
And
Tonight.
10 Commandments in
Yeah.
the school. They're teaching conspiracy theories.
In Oklahoma,
That in
yeah.
Oklahoma, in my state, we're ranked 49th and 50th in education. We have a MAGA supermajority.
So
These
Oklahoma and
policies
San Francisco have bad
hurt
schools in common,
people
then.
so
In San
much.
Francisco-
Now
San
listen,
Francisco-
I don't think that is the answer either. I just think that we need to do something about education. This generation, I have a backlash of this. And the backlash of this, when you have a MAGA supermajority, we had a Democratic governor in 2011. We were ranked 19th in the country in education. Since then, we've had MAGA supermajorities. We're ranked 49th or 50th, depending on where you look at it. And it gets crazier and crazier and crazier. And I think there's a backlash to these policies, and it hurts people. And then you have this breeding grounds for Christian nationalism, which is happening in Oklahoma. 10 Commandments, school superintendent buying Trump Bibles, teaching conspiracy theories. This
Welcome to Modern Political Debate, where if you don't think the economy is a burning disaster, you must be living in a Trump bubble. And if you suggest maybe we should just teach kids basic math and reading, you're apparently causing a backlash that leads directly to Christian nationalism. Apparently the only two options are eliminating all academic standards or turning schools into political training grounds. Let's watch as common sense tries to survive in the middle of this illogical chaos.
is happening, and this is
Kevin,
not helpful
I mean,
for
what she's
children.
saying is true.
Yeah.
I mean, they are trying to bring, Trump literally into the schools as if that is something that kids
Yeah, I spent my
need
whole
to learn.
career-
Even the 10th Commandments. I mean,
I
look,
get
you
it,
can
but-
argue about biblical teaching or whatever, but in the schools, I'm not sure that is lending itself to the kind of rigorous academic
I want to make
learning.
a comment about education. I spent my whole early career in math and reading scores, the Learning Company. 110,000 school buildings in this country. Parents don't care about politics. They would like to see their children advance to have the opportunity, if they wish, to go to college. The only way they get there is to pass through the gates of math and reading scores. They still remain the same in this country. It's not about politics, it's about teaching. We have very low productivity in this country on the amount of money we spend in teaching mandates. Every time I bring this up, it's a poo-poo storm that I get into. But because we have teachers' unions, we don't filter out the weak ones, the horrible teachers, the ones that don't care about advancing children. There are thousands of them.
That's
the unions
so
Well, you would
terrible
think
to
the
tag
teachers'
teachers.
unions are
Yeah,
right.
right.
That is so
Teachers are the
ridiculous.
problem. Is that where we're going?
But you would-
I am 100% right on this.
But you would think the teachers' unions would actually be against this in San Francisco. Why would any teacher support this? This isn't equity for poor
What
or
we're
black
talking
kids,
about is
so
the
we're
extreme
behind. in terms
A
of
very
academic
last word
performance?
for you, and
that
then we
doesn't
gotta
make
go.
any
We're
sense.
talking about the extreme on both sides, but parents in Oklahoma do care about politics, and a lot of them are for this now because they have politicized and turned people
Rather than
against
advancing their
teachers.
All
child,
politics
Yes,
impact the
they
class.
have.
they'd rather
Read the
worry
data.
about
You're a big
politics
data guy.
than
Read
passing
it.
their child on?
Yes, they do. They are riled
I'm having
up,
a hard time with that one.
approaching teachers. This is happening in red states all over the place. They are not interested in an objective education for their children. They want a Christian nationalist education. This is dangerous. It's
I'm
not
having a hard
democracy.
time with
All right.
This entire TV discussion is a perfect snapshot of the two competing visions for America's educational system. It's a battle for the very soul of our schools, and on one side you have the world of complex theories and political goals and the deep fear of holding anyone to a clear standard, and on the other side you have the world of reality results and simple common sense, which was defended very nicely by Kevin and Singleton. And the topic was supposed to be about a very brand new idea of grading equity, but it quickly became obvious that the real debate was a lot bigger than that. Is the goal of the school to make kids feel equal, or to actually make them capable of succeeding in the real world? So let's break down what happened. The whole debate kicks off with the school district in San Francisco wanting to bring in grading equity. And in simple terms, this means getting rid of the traditional grading system and point system, because they might make some student feel bad And to defend this idea, Tiffany Cross tells a very personal story about, her time at school and how she was terrible at math. And she explains that she only passed because she did extra credit in cleaning the chalkboard, for example. And even though she never truly understood the math itself, she presents this as a failure of the old grading system, the traditional grading system, you have to say. And here's the brilliant part about her story, because it actually states the exact opposite point, and both Abby Phillip and Schirmacher Singleton immediately saw that what she learned was far more valuable than the square root of the number. She learned grit. She learned that when you're failing, you don't just give up. You have to work harder. And she learned how to take initiative, how to talk to a teacher for help, and how to put in the effort to overcome a weakness you have, and how to talk. And think about it. Aren't those the most important things and skills for a very successful life later on? The new equity model that's advertised here, which says that deadlines and right or wrong answers aren't that important, robs children of the chance to learn those very lessons she herself learned when she was their age. And it teaches them that your effort doesn't matter as much as your feelings. That is a terrible and very dangerous lesson to teach a child who will one day have to face a world that has deadlines, expectations, and many, many consequences. And this is where Singleton drops a truth bomb, talking about the soft bigotry of low expectations. That might sound like a fancy phrase at first, but it's quite simple and a very devastating idea. It's the belief, disguised as kindness, that some kids, particularly poor and minority kids, just aren't smart enough to meet the same expectations and standards as anyone else. So instead of doing the incredibly hard work of teaching them and helping them to catch up, the system just gets rid of the standard altogether. And imagine a very high wall that kids need to climb to succeed in life. And instead of building a ramp to help every single kid, or as well as the struggling ones, to get over that wall, this new system that they want to employ just tears the wall down for everyone. It's an insult dressed up as compassion, and as Singleton rightly points out, it will hurt the very kids it claims to help, especially colored minorities who are already falling dangerously behind in school. And this is where Kevin, Mr. Wonderful, comes in like a wrecking ball of common sense. He doesn't waste time with fancy words. He calls the idea simply stupid, and says San Francisco is at the top of the idiot index for even considering such an option. While his words are tough, his logic is very crystal clear. Either you can read and do math, or you can't do it. These aren't just random subjects, they are the very keys to unlocking a successful life in the 21st century. The real world has a scoreboard. It's as simple as that, and pretending it doesn't exist doesn't help anyone. It just leaves kids unprepared for the game of life. And this isn't about being mean to some kids that have a hard life. Is the ultimate form of educational malpractice to send a child in the world without these foundational skills everyone has to have. Later, Kevin makes the most important point of the whole show. At the end of the day, most parents don't care about all this political drama. They don't care about equity debates. They just want their kids to be successful in life and want to be proud of them. And the average parent is asking a very, very simple question: will my child be able to get a good job, pay their bills, and have a better life than I ever had? And the only way to guarantee that is to give them a real education with real measurable standards. And O'Leary also correctly points out that the teachers' unions are a huge part of the problem here, because they often protect the worst teachers from getting fired. The system, he argues, is designed to protect the adults in the room and not the kids, and it should be the other way around. And finally, Singleton brings it all together by offering real solutions instead of just complaining like everybody else does. And he brings up a very positive vision, I must say, for what we should be doing. And he argues for school choice so that families aren't trapped in a failing school just because of their zip code. He makes the powerful plea to teach kids practical, real-world skills like financial literacy, how to save money, how to invest money, how to understand compound interest, for example. And he highlights the tragic fact that so many young black men are graduating while reading far below their own grade level. And these are the real problems we have and that we are facing, and they require real and tough solutions, not more feel-good experiments that lower the bar for everyone, because that's not going to help. It's as simple as that. So at the end of the day, this wasn't just some ordinary TV debate. It was a battle of the future for our kids, basically. And please comment your opinion below in the comment box. See you soon.